All right, welcome to week 2 of Buddy Dates. I know that many of you have caught up with each other, you've had your first sessions, and I know that some of you have worked through your limiting beliefs. You're really going to start to see some great benefits when you're doing at this really early stage in your development, nailing your limiting beliefs about 2 or 3 times a week. And I've worked with some of you and I can certainly hear those limiting stories coming up. So don't forget to have a little book that you carry around with you in your handbag, or have it in the kitchen in the morning so that you can write those limiting beliefs down as they come up. Remember that psychology, 80% of success is the psychology that you have. One of the things that I've also seen when I've been working in with the groups over the last couple of weeks is that you guys are moving towards the how, and the how is 20% of success. We really want to be sitting in that mindset of the 80% of success comes through the psychology. And remember, that is really about tapping into the heart. And what does the heart and the soul say is my expression as a businesswoman. So avoid the temptation, or watch when you're trying to get in your head too much and are trying to do too many things on your to-do list, as opposed to following your heart and opening that space. It's quite unusual to work this way in the beginning, but you're going to find that you work further and get and work further, faster, and achieve more if you get your psychology right. Everything will change. Your homework assignment this week is to really condition that state in your body. And what I mean by state is, remember we talked about you don't go to the gym once, you practice the psychology of success multiple times a day. One of the ways that I do it is I have a chime on my phone, and every half an hour, or for you it may be every hour, you'll get a beep on your phone, and in this link this week you'll see the beep to download that app on your phone. When the beep comes, what you want to do is you want to get into that state. And remember, we talked about that state in day 1 of our workshops. How are you standing? How is your energy? Remember, we talked about wiggling your bum so that your energy starts to really sit nicely grounded into the ground. How are you breathing at your best? Most of you, when you're being unsuccessful or are in that mindset that's not producing the greatest results, you're breathing very shallow. We want to start getting, when the buzzer goes, we want to start getting some really confident, strong, deep breaths. And in that handout on the first week, and also the link on this video, you'll see that state sheet. And we talked about how are you breathing? How are you grounded? At your best, how are you standing? Where is your head and your chin? Where is your shoulders? How is that communication center opening up across the chest? Also in this week's video, I've given you a link to Amy Cuddy's work. Remember, Amy Cuddy did the TED Talk where she talked about those power positions, those Wonder Woman positions. So what's happening in the chest, opening up the communication centers? How are you relaxed? And where's that center of energy? And for a lot of you, the center of energy is just going to be slightly back and in the back of the hips, not leaning forward. When we lean forward, we build that uncertainty. When we strengthen in our hips and put our energy to the back, we're just building that really strong sense of certainty in the body. And the question is, with that strong sense of certainty in the body, what kind of beautiful business do you think you can achieve when you feel that in your body? That's when your mind will start to open up, and you'll be lying there at night time and these incredible business ideas will just come to you. That's how you can go further faster. So I really want you to go through and practice that physiology, practice the breathing, practice the way you stand, and run the challenge. Set the alarm on your phone every half hour, and create from there. Also in that space, physiology, the next is the focus. I remember we talked about that at the workshop. What is the focus? What am I visualizing? What am I seeing? And for me, in that state, when I get that strong sense in my body. I just feel like my heart is opening up and I'm focusing on my destiny just unfolding in front of me. But for you, you might be visualizing or seeing or feeling whatever it was that you saw and felt in that 6-minute meditation, where you saw the essence of that business. And then the story that we're telling ourselves. Remember when we came out of that visualization, you wrote on that blue piece of paper, and that was I am, and then it was your name. And remember, I referred to the Bruce Lee definitive purpose, and in this link there's also a link to Bruce Lee's definitive purpose so that you can read his vision. So I am Vanessa Cox. I earn this amount of money a year doing this and this and this business. And then the next part of it was, in return for this, I will contribute. And for mine, it was a momentum of millionaire women in Tasmania. And I finished mine with, I am free to live the way I please, and I have achieved a stillness and joy. And so that's the story that I'm telling myself when I'm in this physiology, when I'm focused, when I'm visualizing my future coming, abundantly coming towards me. That's the story that I'm telling myself. It's also a trap, and I know you wouldn't do it, but it is a trap that I have seen, where in that moment when we came out of that visualization, you wrote on that blue card the truth. It could be a trap, and I've seen people do it, where they go in and they work through the head and they change the writing. And I offer to you that in that moment where you wrote on that blue card, there was truth. That blue card, what you wrote on that card came from the heart. It came from the vision that you saw yourself. It took me half a day to get you to that point where you could do that work for 6 minutes. And I offer to you that that was a true expression of your heart coming through. So many of you resist the urge to rewrite it based on what you intellectually know could or couldn't happen. So that's this week's assignment, is state. I also want to go through and just set you up on 2 other things. One is what's next and what's coming. In 2 weeks' time, we have our finance module, and that's a day where you're going to work a little bit with me on making money, and you're also going to work with some experts in some really tangible steps on the how to make money, how to look at your finances, profit and loss, those sorts of things. Of course, it is my goal to exceed your expectations. So I'm working on an initiative which I expect to announce and launch at the finance workshop, which will blow you out of the water and really step up day one of the finance section. So I can't wait to announce it, because it's really putting my money where my mouth is, and contributing to your careers more than I could ever imagine. So I'm really excited in the next 2 weeks in pulling that together and sharing that with you. Also, if anyone was interested in doing some pre-reading to just get that mindset right in preparation for the finance meeting, I strongly encourage you to read or listen to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and you'll see that in this email there is a link to that book. I listen to it in audio. I have my note paper in front of me. One of the things that I do is when I do the ironing, I iron, I write notes, and I listen to Think and Grow Rich. So it's one of the ways that I do my housework. So I give you all the challenge to pick up that book and do the exercises and digest that book in preparation for the finance day. And lastly, there's a link in this email to register your interest or send links onto other people who you think might want to do the program. There is only a short number of places that are available, or a small number of places that are available for this really intensive work that we're doing in terms of the 3 days or 4 days and the buddy program. But there has been some calls to have us extend this out to perhaps another small group of people. So if you know anyone who needs to do this program and needs to work with me over the next couple of months, let's register their interest. I'm not saying that I'm going to do it, but you never know. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy meeting your buddies. Enjoy having the challenge of keeping your state going throughout the day and being in the best state that you possibly can as you go through your week. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time, where we are truly celebrating all of the incredible achievements that I know that you guys have been doing since I last saw you. Good to see you again. Bye.